We got a wide variety of comics, formats, and publishers for my comic book haul for May 2025.
It's morphin' time!
Hello, this is Soundout here, and on today's video we're going to be looking at my comic book haul for May 2025. This has got a lot of great variety, from things I picked up during Free Comic Book Day to some other purchases I made, things on sale, things brand new, things a little bit older, and almost every type of format we got here. We got hardcovers, we got large size books, we got paperbacks. It'll be a good time. If you enjoy these type of videos, be sure to hit like and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads. Plus, check out previous comic hauls if you haven't already. I do these once a month, and I've been doing that all year so far. So without further ado, let's take a look at the comics I picked up in May of 2025. Alright, so we're going to break format a little bit and start with what I picked up on sale at Free Comic Book Day. So Free Comic Book Day is an event that comic shops do nationwide. It's pretty fun. There's free comics, but the idea is that you come into the store for the free comics, but you stay and you buy something. I always try to pick up some stuff, so I did pick up some trades that were on sale, like for example Phoenix Song Echo. So this was a mini-series that came out during Jason Aaron's run on Avengers, where Maya Lopez had the Phoenix Force, and it's a really cool series. I actually really like this a lot. Much like a lot of things from Jason Aaron's era of Avengers, the spin-offs are way more interesting than the main book. Like, this is an idea that was introduced in his Avengers comic, but I feel like, you know, it's actually explored here. You can see it also, like, you know, advertised like, oh, here's where she became the Phoenix. Because there was a whole Phoenix arc where Jean was like, I don't need the Phoenix anymore, and then somehow the Phoenix was Thor's mom. But anyways, Rebecca Roanhorse wrote this series with Luca Maresca and Kyle Charles as the art, and it's great. I really like this. It's a good exploration of Maya and like her newfound power. She comes in contact with different X-Men, in particular Forge, which makes a lot of sense considering the characters' backgrounds. There even is some appearances by other mutants in this as well. But it's mostly Echo and Forge, and it's really cool, and I really liked it. It's funny because all the covers lie. Like, this cover's like, look, the Avengers are here, and they're not really, because you think like, oh, maybe they'll be there at the beginning, and it's like, nope, not really. This is an entirely a Maya Lopez story, which is nice because she deserves more stories. There's even a cover like on one of the issues where it's like Wolverine's gonna appear, and it's like, nope, he's not there. But pretty great series. Really do like this one a lot. Speaking of Wolverine, I got another Wolverine Epic Collection, back to basics. This was Epic Collection 2. My main Wolverine collecting in Epic is focused on the Larry Hama run. This is earlier than that. This is issues like 17 to 30, plus a couple one-shots. This is when Wolverine, I don't know, had more of a rotating crew of creative teams on his lead book. I'm not trying to buy all the Wolverine Epics. This was $5 though, in the pre-owned section, and I was like, well, for $5 I'll buy a volume of Wolverine. I don't have a problem with that. So I did pick this one up. I've started reading this, if you could tell by the bookmark. I went through the one-shots, the Nick Fury, Wolverine, Scorpio Rising, Jungle Adventure. Pretty solid. I really like Jungle Adventure because it was Walt Simonson and Mike Mignola, two of my favorite creators. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading more of this. It's fun. Wolverine stories, for me at least, usually pretty easy to read. So I was like, yeah, I'll pick that up for $5, of course. All right, these next two was kind of like a, if I don't pick them up, no one else will. IDW had their own ROM Space Knight comic, and this was two of the volumes for it. This is the second trade paperback, volume 2, which I don't remember how many issues are included. It's like, it feels super thick. Yeah, it's issues 5 through 9 and the 2017 annual. And then this is the Dire Wraiths spin-off miniseries focused on, of course, his main villains, the Dire Wraiths. But this was part of Hasbro trying to integrate like all their properties together into one comic universe, and so ROM was part of that. And so this is separate from Marvel's ROM Space Knight that got the omnibuses and the Epic collections recently. It is its own new take on it. Haven't actually read it. It's one of those, you know, now that the trades are like super out of print, I'm eventually going to want to track down the rest of them, but it's going to be one of those things I just kind of look for in comic shops because online prices are bad. Picked up the hardcover edition of DC Power Celebration. This was, I think, also was like $5. This is a collection of stories featuring black superheroes from DC Comics. The cool part about this collection is it does contain the first issue of Cyborg series, I think from Infinite Frontier, plus part of Far Sector, which is, the Green Lantern comic I never shut up about being so good, which is, this one. I've talked about this a lot. Plus the one-shot, which was the DC Power Celebration that had a bunch of stories in it. I have the single issue of this. I have the Far Sector part of it. I thought, why not? Let's just pick it up. Because it's a nice, hardcover collection of a pretty good set of stories. And then kind of in the same vein, we have The Other History of the DC Universe. This was a Black Label title by John Ridley. And this was kind of an interesting project. It was advertised for a while, then it ultimately came out. I did pick this up in its single format as it released. This is not a traditional comic book. This is more of a novelization in a way. So the first issue is about Black Lightning, and what it does is it goes through years 1972 to 1995 following Jefferson Pierce. And as you can see, it is very much done sort of like a history book as opposed to a comic book, and I think that's really fascinating. It goes through his life, and it also shows, what did Jefferson Pierce think of Superman when he showed up, or Batman, or Wonder Woman, or Flash, and kind of go into what did he think of Jon Stewart when he became Green Lantern? And so it's kind of an interesting thing. It wraps into the character's history, frames it around real world stuff, and so that was the way the first issue went. And then it just kind of continues from there. So the second one is about Bumblebee and Harold, two Teen Titans, which of course, Karen Beecher Duncan and Mal Duncan, covering 1970 to 1989. Kind of talking about the Teen Titans, kind of how sometimes they felt like they weren't really part of the group. Kind of adds into some layers of the characters that I think was really clever. The third one was focused on Tatsuyama Shiro, Katana. Really funny that the Suicide Squad design became her main look, at least at the time this was written. Really do like that her name is written here in katakana. So really cool. Book 3, they all kind of follow the same format. It's like a history book. You're going through the history of the characters. I like how there's some overlap because Black Lightning and Katana were on the same team in the form of the Outsiders. So it's really, I think it's an interesting project, and it kind of reminds me, obviously it's supposed to remind you of History of the DC Universe, but it's the other history. It's the more marginalized characters. Renee Montoya, The Question, is book 4. I thought this one in particular was really solid. I really did like this as an exploration of her. And then it all kind of comes together full circle with Anissa Pierce, Thunder, who is, of course, the daughter of Black Lightning. So it's kind of like her story as well. Which kind of also allows it to continue from where Black Lightning's story sort of left off. And so, pretty cool. They had these really great variant covers in the back here by Jamal Campbell that were just really incredible montages of the characters' histories with them as a prominent figure in the middle. Really cool. Really like this book. I just want to show this off. And this is not one people talk about a lot. I know... there's probably some continuity heads that are like, oh, it doesn't do this. But I kind of take it as this is the history as seen through these characters' eyes. And I think that's a really cool project idea. All right, let's get into the main purchases of the month, starting with stuff not Marvel and DC. First of all, Star Trek Planet of the Apes, the Primate Directive. If you spent any amount of time on the channel, you probably are not surprised by this. I love Star Trek. I love Planet of the Apes, and this is a crossover of the two. This came out several years ago. I just found it in stock online, and I was like, I should pick this up because obviously, I would do that. It's got Star Trek and Planet of the Apes. It kind of takes place during the between the first and second Planet of the Apes movies. Of course, TOS for Star Trek, the original series. There's some really interesting stuff, like the Klingons start interfering with Ape Society, and it actually, in a way, sort of explains a plot hole from the second and third Apes movies through its story, which I kind of appreciate. But yeah, there's some really cool variant covers in the back. The also cool thing was these essays that were included in the single issues by Dana Gold that kind of go into the parallels of Star Trek to Planet of the Apes, kind of talking about Star Trek is an optimistic future, whereas Planet of the Apes is a pessimistic future of where humanity would go, and I think that's kind of really cool and interesting. So yeah, it's just really great. If you can track it down, I would recommend it if you like both properties. It's really solid. So this is probably be a big deal here, is the first Energon Universe Deluxe hardcover from Image and Skybound. So Transformers by Daniel Ward Johnson, Jorge Corona, and Mike Spicer has been phenomenal since it debuted. They put that first issue into print 16, 17 times at this point. I'm just guessing. I can't actually remember. It's double-digit printings of that first issue, and they keep making covers for it. But in a surprising twist of fate, the book's only on issue, what is it? We're on issue 19, 20, something like that. And we already got the first 12 in Deluxe hardcover because the series is selling so well. They're not worried about Deluxe hardcovers eating into the trade business. Now, for me, who reads in singles, I was happy to jump straight to Deluxe hardcover. I was thinking about getting the trades, but I was like, this is selling so well, I think we're going to get a larger format. And here it is. So the cool part, too, is there's alternate cover options. The main cover that you can find at bookstores and most online shops is Optimus Prime. And then through direct market, through comic shops and such, you can get Starscream as an option as well. You can still get Optimus, but Starscream is the alternate cover. And this is not the only Energon Universe Deluxe Edition coming out, because look at this. They've already got like 3 more solicited. So Void Rivals, which just came out, mine hasn't come in yet. This is the standard. This is the variant cover you can get through the direct market. And so you have each one of the main characters. Codename G.I. Joe, Book 1 has the Duke and Cobra Commander miniseries, so you can get Duke or Cobra Commander. And then Volume 2 has the Scarlet and Destro series, so you can get Scarlet or Destro. I'm probably going to go, I ordered this one. I ordered the, I can't remember his name at the moment, but I like this guy more than I like her, so I just picked him. But then I'm going with the Cobra and the Destro for that. It's kind of reflective of my Kickstarter choices with the classic Marvel comics. I got the Decepticon set for Transformers. I got the Cobra set for G.I. Joe, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's really cool. I love the holofoil. I think I was reading somewhere that like the book market edition won't have the holofoil, but only the direct market will. Don't know that for sure, but no matter which cover you get, it has like a cool holofoil. You can see on the spine here, we got Transformers, we got Starscream down here. It has the Energon Universe logo, Book 1. So yeah, this is pretty straightforward. It contains issues 1 through 12 of Transformers. And it's presented in an interesting way. And I looked this up, and this is the case with the trades as well. And this is just not common practice, but it's something that Skybound likes to do, apparently, with some of theirs, which is that they say Chapter 1 begin, and it's the first 6 issues is what Chapter 1 is. So then Chapter 1 end is at the end of the first 6, and then Chapter 2. So it's like, this is what the first trade contents are, is issues 1 through 6. And so you have that, and then you have that, but no chapter breaks in between the issues. So rereading it was kind of funny, because I was like, what the heck is going on, considering I'd read it in singles. Like, wait, where were the issue breaks? But you have Daniel Warren Johnson's artwork, Mike Spicer's, and Jorge Corona's art as well on all this. Like, this is one of the most beautiful books that's come out, especially being a licensed title. Like, they really have like really great artists working on this, and this is not like a cheap cash-in book. This is like a really incredible storytelling, and really has become iconic so quickly. You've probably seen this image of Optimus having Megatron's arm if you're in the toy circles and such. If you haven't had a chance to check this out yet, this is a pretty good way to get in. It is a $50 hardcover, so it's like you might want to try something cheaper, because like the first trade's only $10. But this is just an incredible addition if you love these comics. Like, and the fact they're going to continue doing these is even better. Cool part 2 is in the back. We have sketches, kind of sketchbook stuff, comments, talks about like designs and artwork and things, which is really awesome. And then as a bonus, you do get the main covers of each of the first 12 issues. No variant covers in this, which probably, I mean, that would first of all bump the page count by like another 300 pages, because there's a ton of variant covers. But I also wonder if maybe we're going to get like an art book of covers. But yeah, they keep doing new printings, so there's still more covers to add. But I think it's nice, concise. I'm looking forward to getting, the Void Rivals one in and the G.I. Joe ones. This is going to be a really nice collection of books, and I hope they, keep it up through the entire run, because I'll totally double dip on everything. Especially, and also adding to that, it is an oversized hardcover. It's not just like a standard size hardcover. It is bigger than your standard trade. So it is like your omnibus size book, and I don't mind getting it in 12-issue chunks. A little bit easier to read, and also they can come out a little bit quicker, which is really, really fun. All right, let's switch gears over to Marvel. We got It's Jeff Verse. This is a little digest-sized edition of the Marvel Unlimited Jeff comics, featuring Jeff the Land Shark. These are adorable. They're really fun. If you've never read them, they're fantastic. Of course, he's been making a big splash in Marvel Rivals. So if you're looking for like the backstory on Jeff, you got this. So this is reprinting the print edition, which are kind of one-shots. So it's got the It's Jeff #1, It's Jeff verse, and Venomverse It's Jeff, plus a story from Extreme Venomverse, because they did give Jeff a Venom War tie-in, because he had this story where he got a symbiote. And so that's included as well. It's basically catching you up to like a bunch of the Jeff experiences. So really fun, really great, fun for all ages, honestly. Really, really enjoy it. Nice little compact size as well. And then to go from a small book to a really large one, we have the Darth Maul Black, White, and Red Treasury Edition. So I looked at my first Treasury Edition last month, which was the Doom one. This one is my first Star Wars one. My first Black, White, and Red that I've actually bought. I've read several of this format, and, you know, it is, as it says, Black, White, and Red. And these books are just gorgeous. Really do love the color usage. And I think, you know, when Darth Vader did Black, White, and Red, it's like, oh, they'd color his eye lenses. They'd color his lightsaber, of course. Look at the way they just color these pages red. But with Darth Maul, because his color scheme is black with highlights of red, it really does shine through. And I love just the little splashes of red throughout the book. Each issue is done by a different team of writer and artist, so you get a good anthology-type feel to it. And just in general, I think it's pretty fantastic. Now, if you don't want the gigantic, large size version of this, which, you know, I'm into that stuff, some people might just be like, can I just get a normal trade? Yeah, there's going to be a normal trade version coming out in January next year. So a bit of a wait. But yeah, if you're looking for a standard like size, there will be a standard size. But if you want the big old Treasury Edition, that's out now. I like the way these are built too, where they're soft cover, but they're really sturdy. There is I think the next Star Wars Treasury Edition is the Visions, which has like the Visions one-shots. There was the one that was done to tie into the Visions animated thing with the black and white one with the Ronin. And then there's a Peach Momoko issue in there that I'm going to get that Treasury Edition specifically for the Peach Momoko issue because that was incredible. But this is really great. If you like Darth Maul, you'll definitely get that. It's pre-Phantom Menace Darth Maul stuff. And yeah, I actually realized this is like the first Star Wars comic I bought in a few years. I read them all on Marvel Unlimited, but this was one I was like, I gotta get it. Also because it's Darth Maul, and I really like this character a whole lot. All right, in the world of Epic Collections, we got Fantastic Four, The More Things Change. This is a reprint, which was filling a gap in my collection, which I'm almost caught up. I'm only missing, you know, ignoring the ones that are set for reprints and are coming out soon, I'm missing 4 Fantastic Four Epic Collections, which I know is ironic, you know, that I'm missing 4 Fantastic Fours. But it's getting to the point where I'm feeling like if I just, you know, hold out without, like, going crazy, if I find a copy, like, at a comic shop, I'm not going to, like, turn it down. But, you know, at this point, I might just wait to see if those last 4 are going to get reprinted. But this is volume 18 from 1987 to 1988. We've got Jim Starlin, Steve Englehart, Peter David, rest in peace, Peter David, one of the most iconic comic creators, recently passed away. We got Bernie Wrights and John Buscema, Keith Paul, Sal Buscema, Kieran Dyer, and Jeff Pruvis as main artists. So this has got the Incredible Hulk and Thing graphic novel and Fantastic Four 308 to 320, plus Incredible Hulk 350 and Fantastic Four Annual number 21. But yeah, I believe this is the second edition first printing, so this is the second time they've offered this. But yeah, good little gap filler if you're been collecting Fantastic Four epics. Speaking of reprints, this one fills an X-Men gap for me, X-Men Mutant Genesis. So this volume is pretty in demand. I can't remember how many times they've released this one at this point, which is why when I was starting to collect X-Men epics, because X-Men 97 mostly, I was like, oh, that one's going to come back out again. Yeah, let's see. This is the, where is it? 3rd edition first printing. So this is the 3rd edition. It's all updated with 2025 copyrights. 3rd edition, first printing. They have put this one out a lot. The reason why this one is in such demand is because it serves 2 purposes. On the surface, you can look and go like, this looks more X-Factory. It does. There's a lot of X-Factor issues in here. But what this contains is X-Men number 1, which does it still hold the title of being the best-selling comic of all time, which I still think was entirely spurned by the fact there was 5 covers for it. There's these 4 main covers that were all connecting covers that made a montage mural, and that's what it looks like when it's all together. But this became like the most highest-selling comic of all time, was the X-Men relaunch in the 90s. Kicked off that whole 90s era. You look at this and you're like, that's the template for the animated series. Of course, some things changed. They didn't put Psylocke into the show. Wolverine didn't have his brown suit. But, you know, this is like the template, basically. So this is one of the reasons why this volume is in such demand, because it has this iconic issue. All of this here is lead up to that, because this is kind of taking X-Men from, let's see, it starts in the Kings of Pain saga, goes through the Mirror Island saga, I believe, and then leads to this, the big relaunch of X-Men, the blue and gold teams, to where there's 2 books now, X-Men and Uncanny X-Men, following each a different team of mutants. The other big deal with this is that this is the final volume of Chris Claremont's X-Men run. And what's really cool is, while it looks really awkward on the back, because you got X-Men Annual 15, X-Factor 65 to 70, Uncanny's 278 to 280, X-Men 1 to 3. Like, you only get, like, you know, a few issues of X-Men, most of it's X-Factor, and then there's some more material added. That's to get you story-wise caught up, which I think is great, because this is supposed to be the main epic line, so it should have the main story. It's all 1991 issues. But it cuts off 3 issues into X-Men and those 3 Uncanny issues, because that's the last things Chris Claremont wrote, and then it went to Scott Lobdell after that, I believe. So this is like the final Chris Claremont volume. So if you're someone that wants just the Claremont run of X-Men, you end at 19. Like, this is a clean break, and I do appreciate they do that from time to time. Fantastic Four has a clean break at the end of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's run. So there's all kinds of stuff there. But I will say that, you know, it's nice to fill this gap. At the time when I started, I was like, this is going to be the end for me, because I love the Claremont X-Men run probably more than any other era. But I have decided to continue further because I've been reading other 90s X-Men. So I'm probably going to go up to Onslaught. And then 2000s X-Men's real pick and choose for me. But, you know, that kind of 70s, 80s X-Men vibe is really where it's at for me. And this is, like, you know, kind of the tail end of that before it goes into the new era. In the world of DC, we got some really large books. DC Finest Superman Family, The Giant Turtle Man. This is a pretty cool collection. So this has basically 2 series included. My mom is going to start reading this one soon. So there's issues of Action Comics, of course, but this is basically a combination of Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, and Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, which were both popular and very long-running series of comics. And I know that sounds insane nowadays, because we can barely get, like, characters like Blue Beetle to get into the double digits of issues. But yes, Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane and Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen ran, like, triple digits, over 100 something issues each. I think close to 200. The New Gods debut in Superman pal Jimmy Olsen. It's crazy how comics used to be. So this book has got all this stuff, and I'm just going to zoom in because it's just a list. But the way I was going to talk about this is that this is really smart, I think, to combine not only Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, but also include other stories that they were featured in, because I think you couldn't sell, and this is all respect to the characters, I don't think you could sell a Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen DC Finest line, or a Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane DC Finest line. And then combining them together makes total sense. And putting it under the Superman Family banner means later volumes could include issues of Superman Family, which was an anthology book that came about after Lois and Jimmy were canceled. As you can see, this covers 60 to 61, and it is the thickest DC Finest I have personally seen. I don't know if it is the thickest. It has 662 pages for a cover price of $40, which is bonkers. I think the Batman Beyond Compendium is less of a page count, and is like, that was like a $60 cover price. Like, they're sticking to that $40 cover price on these, which is impressive. Naturally, I did pick this up for my mom, because she's a big Silver Age Superman fan, and so of course this goes right along with it. Just like Superboy, the super dog from Krypton. Yeah, they put out these pretty quick. It's obviously because Krypto's going to be in the Superman movie. I guess Lois and Jimmy are as well, so they're kind of getting some Superman stuff out here. This is covering 54 to 55. So this one, I guess, is before the Supergirl volume, and then the other one's after. But this has Adventure Comics 199 to 216 and Superboy 33 to 43. And this does have the first story featuring Krypto the Superdog in here. Also, I just noticed gorillas. If you wanted to sell a comic, if you wanted to sell a comic book, you put gorillas on the cover. That was the secret solution. Those are chimpanzees. There's chimpanzees on the cover. This one may not have sold as well. Carmen Infantino had this great list of like things that could always sell a comic, and it was like gorillas. That's why there's so many gorilla supervillains at DC, because they were like, it always sells, and it always did. Another great, classic Silver Age volume here. My mom's going to read this one. This one's not as thick as the Superman Family one. This one's only 540 pages, but still pretty great value for that. And then rounding things out, we have the Animal Man Compendium. Got this on sale. I got it 60% off or something like that, which was good because I had the old trades for Grant Morrison and Chaz Tarrag's Animal Man. And so, yeah, this is basically the first 26 issues of the Animal Man comic plus the origin story from Secret Origins 39. It's the entire Grant Morrison run on Animal Man. $60 cover price, and it is a compendium with 712 pages, which is not too bad. For me, I thought maybe it could have been a little bit lower just because, like, I think the thing with compendiums that's kind of funny to me, be a side tangent, the milestone compendiums are like 1,300 pages and they're $60, and this one's $760. So it's kind of weird that way. Just like the page counts don't always line up. This is excellent comic book work here. This is, you know, part of Grant Morrison's like classic catalog of like important stories, and also kind of leading into their tendency to do kind of metatextual and surrealist storytelling. It's incredible, really awesome. I sold my old trades to the comic shop after this because I don't need them anymore. This is on much better paper. It's all nice in one volume, and it's not too big to where it's not unwieldy to read. But it's a really nice update. If you never had a chance to read it and you like your print copies, absolutely check it out. It's a nice contained volume. I think, if I'm not wrong, this is the exact same contents as the Omnibus, but it's in a nice paperback form, which is easier. So that does it for this month's comic haul. Lots of cool stuff. Some stuff I'd read before, some new stuff I will read in the future, like X-Men and Fantastic Four. I'm trying to go chronological reading those. I'm really excited about more Energon Universe stuff. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and the notification bell if you haven't already. Those two things help the channel immensely. Let me know in the comments down below what you picked up this month that you found to be really, really cool. On that note, if you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server in the link below. You can join as a channel member and get perks like early access to videos and member-exclusive live streams. Let's give some special shout-outs to our channel members. Special shout-out to our channel members, including Captain Tier, Spin-54, Masterbin95, Forever1000, Super Shaddix Boom, Mr. Smelly Potato, Starhu, Gabriel Saez, Luffy D. Monkey, Joy-Con Girl, Mass Fuego, Onio Nichan, Dr. Grid, RC Scorchcore, Crestfallen Thoughts at Midnight, Paul Miller, Colby Massengale, Aggressively Relaxing, Michael, Kaiji1954, B-Min, Professional Troll Taylor, Jeffrey Piemonte, Lacey Dean, Ben Nguyen, Mr. Airverse16, Jamie's World, Cineroth, The Clueless Collector, Z-Man 12 Bat, Isabella Lawrence, Geets, TRPCDRD, Omega Saiyan, Kakiku Kaku, Gang 1, and Ben Odinson. Thank you everybody for your support. If you so wish, I'm on social media at Blue Sky, where you can also find me on our Discord server down below. And you can find my wonderful graphic designer on social media and Discord at DarkClaw643. Plus, you can find Hero Club at HeroClub.com for comic reviews, news, and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.